So not that long ago, I brought up a fantastic alternative modern style N64 controller. This one right here, the Retro Brawler 64. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my hands on the Nintendo Switch version of this, which essentially just comes with a little Bluetooth dongle to plug into your Switch dock rather than having the proprietary input for the Nintendo 64. But this is still one of my favorite controllers. I've actually messed with a few different alternatives. However, when you plug it into those like weird adapters that go in that you can plug in original N64 controllers, the inputs don't really like to work in the same way. So I've been kind of hunting for a new Switch controller because I love playing the Nintendo 64 online games. So when I heard that 8BitDo was creating a mod kit, I obviously had to get my hands on it, and I'll be completely honest, I don't think I've ever been more satisfied with a mod than this one. Now, if you're new to the channel, it would really mean a lot to me if you went and hit that big subscribe button down below, like this video, and drop a comment if you like content like this. Now, I watched a couple videos before I did this just to kind of see, is it actually worth it? And for the most part, the feedback that I was getting were incredible results. I've watched sensitivity tests to see how close it is to the actual OEM controller, and it's fantastic. But what really prompted me to get this is the fact that I still can't get my hands on the Nintendo Switch Online 64 controller, which is basically a one-for-one remake of the OEM controller. Now, there are a few pros and cons to doing this mod. One, you're actually disassembling and using the original shell for your N64 controller. Now, if you're a nostalgic person like myself, it's kind of hard to get rid of that and dismantle it, especially when you won't be able to use this controller for your N64 unless you buy another Bluetooth dongle, which go for about $30 to $40 right now. And considering that this kit with the Hall effect joystick already goes for $40, now you're really talking about spending $70 just to be able to use a controller that already worked with your N64 to get it to work again with your N64. So to me, it just seems like it's kind of a lot. However, 8BitDo does a fantastic job at making this mod the easiest mod I've ever done. In fact, it actually only took me about 20 minutes. Now, overall, I really enjoyed both of these controllers. This works with my regular N64 as of right now, and I still haven't been able to test it out on the Switch. However, I just like the modern controller feel. As awesome as this is, and as nostalgic as this makes you feel when you play it, it just isn't quite the same. It's just not. The Hall effect joystick is absolutely fantastic, and I actually really enjoy the weight to this thing. The Rumble Pack actually makes it a very satisfying feel compared to the Retro Brawler controller, which is extremely light. Now, the two major things I just didn't enjoy about this was the fact that 8BitDo only has the original gray color. So if you wanted to use a different colored controller, unfortunately, it just kind of sticks out. Now, I know that's me being kind of nitpicky about the whole thing, but I'm very much into the aesthetics. So if you're listening, 8BitDo, please come out with some alternative colors that will match other controllers, like jungle green, for instance. Now, the other thing that I just didn't like about it, unfortunately, it uses the expansion slot. So even with a Bluetooth dongle, you unfortunately won't be able to use this for any sort of adapters or anything like that on your original N64, if that's what you're going for. Now, if you're using it for the Switch Online, you don't have to worry about that in general. So just be aware that unfortunately it does use this, and it does become a little front heavy if that's something you're concerned about.
So this is the box that it comes in. Just a classic 8BitDo box. Kind of flip it over. Little instruction booklet basically helps you assemble it. We'll go over that. USB-C cable. This is the adapter that connects into the controller. And of course, the Hall effect joystick. very satisfying feel to this thing. Then it comes with a little screwdriver. And obviously the bread and butter here, which is going to be the new board that we will be replacing. And honestly, it is very nice. All right, so let's get all this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna bring in the regular controller here, our original OEM controller. It's kind of sad that this thing is gonna go away. So the first step, obviously, for disassembly is let's take all these screws out. There are 7 main screws here, and then there's actually 2 little screws in the expansion slot. So we'll take all these out. And the shell should just kind of pop right off. It's really nice. And the first thing I do, kind of inspect it, see if there's anything weird going on in here. Nothing, obviously. Take out the triggers. Save those. Obviously, we will need to use those. The new kit did not have a replacement. I'm going to go ahead and save those silicone pads as well. And then we can unscrew the joystick, which essentially holds the board in place. There's nothing really else holding the board in place. Should just pop right out. Wow. This controller was honestly in amazing condition. I'm a little sad that I let it go. And then we do have to save this little silicone pad here for the Z trigger. And this is something I did forget about, but do not. It comes with a little silicone thing that goes in the top there. And then we'll go ahead and put the board in. It took a little finagling here, but it should fit fine. And then next, we will pop our Hall Effect joystick in. Just kind of hold it in place here, like so, and we will go ahead and screw it in. Again, this kit didn't come with any additional screws, so make sure that you're saving all of the ones that you used previously to screw everything back into place. Go ahead and plug it in. It should look like that when you're all done. Next, we will seat that Z trigger back into place there too. Kind of just snugly fits in there. And we'll go ahead and put that little silicone pad on there. And that should pretty much lock it into place. Perfect. Should look like this. We'll go ahead and reattach the silicone pads for the L and R trigger buttons up there. This one kind of took me a little bit. The cords that attach it to the board just kind of don't really fit well. But once you get them in there, kind of move those around, then you can go ahead and put the trigger buttons kind of back into place. All right, and then literally all that's left is to slide this right back on. Like I said, it's a really quick mod. I really like it. And this kind of just snaps into place. It might take you a couple tries. The triggers might fall out. So just kind of be aware and double check that they are all seated. And then we can go ahead and screw everything back in. We have those 7 screws, and then again, the 2 screws in the expansion slot as well. All right, should be fully assembled here. Last thing to do is just put the adapter right in the bottom, and it fits like a charm, of course. Amazing feeling to this thing, to be honest with you. So there's 2 ways that you can connect it to your Switch. One is to plug it in like that. You'll see a little LED indicator light that pops on, says it's plugged in and charging. The next thing, you can go into controllers. This is the Bluetooth way.
Change grip.
And you will go to change grip. And you should be able to just kind of, I think you hit the pair button here, pair up the controller. It really was easy.
Wow. That's pretty sick.
All right, let's do some gameplay here. So I went with Pokemon Stadium 2. The mini games are so much fun. I just really wanted to test out the sensitivity on it, and there is basically zero latency. My skills are not that great. Played a little Mario 64 as well, and honestly, it's very sensitive. It kind of shocked me how quick it reacted and how smooth the movement was. But yeah, that's essentially the mod.
Overall, this is a fantastic starting mod for anybody that's looking to get into the scene. I highly recommend it. It played fantastic when I tested it out, and it really just makes you feel like you're playing the original N64 because, well, you essentially are. So either way, thank you so much for checking out this video. It would really mean a lot to me personally if you went and you hit that big subscribe button down below. Make sure to like this video and drop a comment if you enjoyed seeing content like this. We'll see you in the next video.